I'm sorry if I'm a little bit flush. I just got back from some all-out sprint. Tonight we're going to be talking about getting your first pull-up or getting better at pull-ups. And we're not going to be talking about it in the perspective that I think you're expecting. So what I mean by that is when I posted today, we're going to be talking about how to get a pull-up without blowing out your shoulders or how to get better at pull-ups without blowing out your shoulders. I imagine that most of you went straight to, this is going to be a programming talk. He's going to be talking about, adding weight and rep schemes and all that kind of stuff. And I will get into that a little bit, but this is more going to be about the mindset of getting pull-ups. And this is an especially important talk for coaches to hear, and it's a valuable talk for athletes to hear. But I think that the athlete needs to understand this from the coach's perspective, so it really is for everybody. But I want coaches to pay extra special attention to what I'm talking about here, because this is the way that you need to approach, in my opinion. This is my opinion. It doesn't make it right, doesn't make it wrong, it's my opinion. It's how you need to approach an athlete request, right? So while I'm doing this, while I'm talking about this, what I want to know is down below, how many of you have pull-ups? Can you just give me a quick little Y if you have pull-ups and a quick little N for not yet if you don't? A Y is yes, I have pull-ups, and N is not yet, because obviously we're all going to get them. I got a hand. I'll take that as a yes. What else we got? Don't let A Scootin be the only one. We got another Y, K, Y, good. All right, cool. So we're getting some Ys. So I'm going to let you guys keep on coming in with those, and I'm going to give you some foresight. Tonight's talk is going to be a little bit quicker, 15 minutes or so, and we're going to be in and out. We're going to talk about right now how to start getting pull-ups, how to approach the conversation. So I had a person yesterday who's one of our Instagram followers send me a question. He's actually one of my favorite people who trolls me. It's a fun troll. We actually banter back and forth. He said, hey, I have a client who is a pretty good athlete. She's a little bit overweight, but she's strong. She wants to get a pull-up. And we've tried a bunch of different programs. And I keep on telling her that she needs to lose a little bit of weight. It will make her lighter and make her more aerodynamic and make it easier for her to pull herself up over the bar, because it's really her weight that's holding her back. She's strong enough to squat heavy weights, to press heavy weights, to pull heavy weights, just not to pull her body up. And he's like, so what can we do other than changing her diet and her recovery to improve her ability to get a pull-up? What do you guys think I said? Okay. I realize it takes a little long to type it in there. I said she doesn't want to get a pull-up. And the thing is, right, you can't train for a pull-up. We don't train for, I want to get that trick. No. We train for the ability to have the capacity to do something over and over and over again. I don't want someone who I'm working with to get a pull-up. I want them to have pull-ups. And that's a big difference. It seems like very much the same thing, but it's a big difference, right? I don't want you to get a muscle-up. I want you to have muscle-ups. I want the first muscle-up that you get to be a strict one. That kind. So when I talk to somebody, right, and they ask me for advice and they say, hey, an athlete of mine wants to get a pull-up, but she's unwilling to change her diet, she's unwilling to rest more and try to cut a little bit of weight when she's got about 30, 40 pounds to lose, but she really wants to get a pull-up, my answer to that is, no, she doesn't. And you as a coach should stop wasting your time trying to come up with the best program to get a pull-up for this person and start spending your time trying to figure out how to communicate to this person that the best way for them to hit their performance goals is to look at the low-hanging fruit on their tree, which in this case would be weight loss, and would be approaching the difficult thing for them to do. It's the hard conversation for you to have, but it's the conversation that if you're going to be a great coach, you need to be able to have with your athlete, with your student, whatever you call them, so that you can help them reach their successful place. Are there any questions about that before I move on to the next part of how to actually program yourself to get a pull-up? Because I think that's more important than how to program to get a pull-up. You all understand innately with some degree how to get somebody to get a pull-up. So I want to take a few questions first about that topic. The topic of, I want to get a pull-up, but I'm not willing to lose the weight necessary to make it easy for me to get a pull-up. Then you don't want to get a pull-up. You don't want to have pull-ups well enough, badly enough. Does anybody have any questions about that? Please drop me a question. I'm going to answer a few of those before I move on to how to program it. So the longer it takes you guys to ask me questions, the less likely we're going to get some programming talk. What if the person in question is your significant other? So the answer to that, actually what Larry just said there, refer them out, is a really good answer, right? So I love my wife dearly. We have 2 beautiful kids together, and they're the most important things in the world to me. I coached her on double unders. I remember one time I coached on double unders, and I said, hey, you need to jump higher. And she shot me this look like, I know you're not talking to me. I was like, you know what? No, just keep whipping yourself. Go ahead, just keep whipping yourself. And when we got home that night, it wasn't the best night. So I try not to coach her too often on high skill movements that are already frustrating for her. I'd rather one of our coaches on staff coach her in that. The coach-spouse relationship is not an ideal one. Good question. Any other ones? And by the way, that's for me. The coach-spouse relationship for me is not ideal. Maybe for you it is, but I don't have an answer for someone who it is because for me it's not. Any other questions? I'm going to wait for at least one more question before I talk about the programming to get pull-ups. I want one more question. I'm going to wait. There's 28 of you. Oh, hey. The kid's coming down the stairs. I want one more question. I'm not leaving without one more question about that conversation of the you need to lose a few pounds. And that's just a fact, Jag. I'm waiting. So again, I'll explain the topic for those of you who maybe weren't here because I'm waiting for one more question before we move into programming. And I will get to it, but I want one more question because you guys have them. Someone says to you, I want to get pull-ups. You say, awesome, I want to help you. You just need to lose a few pounds. In not quite those words. I would not bring it up that way. What do? Right? So chin-ups first or pull-ups first. I program for chin-ups first. Is that bad? No, it's not bad. It's a different movement though. A chin-up and a pull-up are not the same. So your program for a chin-up is not going to necessarily get somebody a pull-up. It's going to train the bicep and the lat, but it's not going to train it in the same. You're missing that third muscle, that brachioradialis muscle that is going to be helpful for a pull-up. Is there a specific amount of weight loss that should be taken care of first before attempting? No. You don't need to weigh a certain amount before attempting a pull-up. It's just that if you're strong enough to pull 20 pounds less than what you weigh over the bar and you have 30 pounds to lose, instead of trying to add the strength, focus on losing the weight. It's faster, it's healthier, and it's more sustainable. That's what I'm suggesting. So Fit Studio asks, even though losing weight would make it easier, is it the only way? The effort involved. Okay, so no, it's not the only way. But what I'm saying is that when somebody is unwilling to make the life sacrifices to get this thing that is so important to them, I really want to get a pull-up. I really want to get a pull-up, right? Why can't I get a pull-up? Well, you're 50 pounds overweight. And I'm empathetic to that. I'm not fat shaming anybody. I don't want to come across that way. But it's, hey, you're heavier than you're strong. So if we're going to get you to be able to pull your body weight over the bar, we need to either pack on a lot of strength, which is going to take a long, long time and consistent effort, or we need you to bring your body weight down a little bit so that more of your mass is actually muscle, which will facilitate you getting up over the bar. If they're not willing to do that, there's a bunch of other things along the way that are going to be necessary to get them to do what they want to do in other aspects that you're going to bang your head up against the wall for. So if they're unwilling to do what is necessary to get the skill that they're looking for, then personally, I would try to find a different way to get them to do it, meaning to do what I need them to do, in this case, lose the weight, or I would refer them to a different coach. Because for me, it's not worth for me the time to work with somebody who doesn't want to do what needs to be done to accomplish the goal. Overweight folks get chin-ups sooner. That's not true. People get chin-ups sooner because a chin-up is an easier movement to accomplish. You're going to get chin-ups are just easier. The way you grip the bar, the amount of bicep opportunity, it's an easier movement than a pull-up. So this is harder than this for a lot of different reasons, and that's why people get it first. Now let's talk about the programming of a pull-up first, because I appreciate you guys gave me some good questions there. You understand how to program a pull-up. you do, right? I don't want you guys to fall back on me as a crutch to tell you exactly what to do with people. Do what you've been doing to get people pull-ups. Give them banded pull-ups. Have them do a lot of reps of banded pull-ups. Then have them doing their negatives, right? Don't worry about the frequency so much. Once a week of regular pull-ups with a band, once a week with negative pull-ups, you should be fine. Build those things like you would build a squat. If you've ever programmed somebody to improve their squat, program them to improve their pull-up the same way. Think about the weight on the barbell as a thicker or a lighter band. The lighter the band, meaning the thinner the band, the heavier the weight. The thicker the band, the lighter the body, the lighter the weight. Program it like you would program back squats, and eventually that movement will get stronger. Now, here's what I want you guys to take into consideration. Healthy shoulders are going to be successful shoulders. So I want you to start thinking about doing the things that we're doing in our Bulletproof Shoulders programming when you're getting someone to a pull-up. Add in high pulls. For every day that they're going to be doing a pull down, make sure that they're doing a day of a pull up. For every day that they're doing a pull up or a pull down, make sure that they're carrying. So if they're doing pull-ups twice a week, this kind of a pull-up, right, or chin-ups or chin-up negatives, whatever it might be, I want you to make sure that twice a week they're also doing high pulls and carries, a low carry and a high carry. Reason being, we need to make sure that that shoulder can sit in the right place, and even though those don't feel like movements that translate exactly into a pull-up, you bet your ass that grip strength from that low hang carry is going to be beneficial. Distraction forces put on the shoulder from that low hang carry are going to be beneficial. And a healthy shoulder in general, a shoulder that moves well in all directions and absorbs forces from all directions, is going to be a better shoulder to train on. You can build more volume and more intensity through a heavy joint than you can through an unhealthy joint. So priority number 1, keep the joint healthy. Priority number 2, overload program it so that you can get the response that you're looking for. Nutshell. Will this be on my podcast? Maybe. Yeah, why not? Eventually. Guys, that's all I got. I'm looking for questions now. Let's check the clock. We have 3 minutes for questions. So in 3 minutes, this is going to be over, even if, Rich Froning comes on here and asks me something. It's going to be over in 3 minutes. So I want to hear from you guys. What questions do you have? Are you listening to the podcast? The Active Life podcast. The YouTube channel, youtube.com/theactivelife. Head to performancecarerx.com for anything you're looking for. Most of what's on there is free, right? You have the opportunity for our podcast on there, for our YouTube channel on there, for all kinds of resources on there that don't cost you anything. Yes, you can buy programming there too, but that's where you guys want to be going to find all of our stuff. What questions do you guys have? We have about 2 minutes left. That Pat Barber episode was awesome, wasn't it? Man, I was ready to hang up with him after an hour, and he had that question for me that was awesome. Yeah, Pat Barber's the man. We're going to have him back on a few times. I enjoyed that. First time I met Pat Barber, he absolutely blasted me, and it was great. At what point should we move from strict pull-ups to kipping pull-ups? I like to move from strict to kipping when you have 3 to 5 strict pull-ups and when you can control kipping. So you need to be able to control a kipping pull-up to the point that I can say stop, and you stop wherever you are. And I don't mean like you're here and you just stop midair. I mean, if you're at the bottom, you can stop. If you're at the top, you can stop at any time. If you can stop at the bottom or you can stop at the top at any time on a kip and hold it for a 5-second count, then you can start considering doing kipping pull-ups. How do you get a sample of what we program? Our program costs $39. If you need a sample of what we program, it's not for you. $39 gets you our programming for a month. It's cancel anytime. If you need a sample, I don't mean to be a dick, but it's not for you. It works. It's worked for thousands of people. We have one-on-one people who are paying us $200, $350 a month. The $200 people are working with our staff. The $350 people are working with myself and Jeremy. We have worked with 2 people who have won the CrossFit Games. We work with over 20 who are going to be competing at the CrossFit Games this year. If you need a week sample of our programming, I don't mean to be a dick. It's not for you. It's $39 a month for a template program. If you can't get yourself to go ahead and getting it, it ain't for you. What do I think about what Rich is doing the programming structure and the volume. Conflict of interest for me to talk about that. Simon's Convalescent. I have a problem with bicep pain during pull-ups. What should the focus area be to avoid this? It's probably you're overloading. You're probably doing it too often. You're probably overloading the bicep and you want to be working on the lats more. I would start considering some hand-over-hand sled drags. So getting yourself parallel to the ground, rope to a sled, pulling it arm over arm so that you're really building up that lat strength. Do more horizontal pulling and do more upward pulling so that you're building up shoulder health and you're building up lat strength without fatiguing your bicep in the eccentric phase. Consider those things. Also consider that you might be doing it too much. Building strength, isometric strength, and eccentric strength and full range of motion assisted reps? No, all at the same time. I don't like to do building isometric, then building eccentric, then doing full range of motion. I like to build them all at the same time. Is it better to scale strict pull-ups with ring rows or banded pull-ups? You need to do both. So ring rows are going to train in the horizontal pulling direction, while a banded pull-up is going to assist you in a vertical pulling direction. So I would be working on both.
And then mommy's going to go upstairs and get ready. You want to come upstairs and get ready?
Pat Blizzard wants to know if you would be willing to go to Norway for a seminar. Bye, Mac. I'll be right up. You want to come say hi? The answer is yes. We would absolutely come to Norway for a workshop as long as someone is paying our way, right? We don't pay to come do workshops. If someone wants to host us, we'll come to Norway. I'll even bring this one with me. She looks Norwegian, right? Yes.
What's that?
What's that? Those are Daddy's friends.
Daddy's friends in talking.
Daddy's friends are talking, yeah. So we bought ourselves a few minutes here because this is what I wanted to go hang out with. So if you guys have questions, feel free to ask them and I'll have Mackenzie answer them.
Dad,
What?
that's lips.
That's lips, yeah. That's chapstick. She's talking about our chapstick. That's lips. So again, I would love to come to Norway. Kim, would you want to go to Norway?
What?
Would you want to go to Norway?
Oh, yeah.
My wife said, hell yeah. So we would come to Norway. We just need someone to host us. Thank you. Don't worry, Westy. I'll get this stuff on the Facebook page. I like this one. This will be on the Facebook page for sure. YouTube to Facebook. Anything else, guys? We're going rapid fire here. I'm going to tell you where to go find us again. If you don't have questions for me by the time I'm done telling you where to find us, this thing is over. Go to performancecarerx.com. That's where you'll find our podcast. That's where you will find our YouTube channel. They're both on there. Whoops. Yeah, man. Pat, see what you can do. For us to come to Norway, just as a heads up, it would cost about $5,000 US plus the travel. Right? So you get us a place to stay, you get us airfare, $5,000 US, you can charge whatever you want. We'll be out there. If someone got a yellow light on the shoulder flexion test, what protocol would you follow next? Mobility drills, soft tissue, forever chasing strength. I want that person in bulletproof shoulders. A yellow light in bulletproof shoulders. What?
I need to put on a
You want to put on the hat? Okay. Hold on. Come here. This is going to be hard to do. We're putting a swim cap on. How many days? That would be a 2-day workshop. A 2-day workshop, and we need a day on the front and a day on the back. So, Pat, what that means is I would need to be able to get in there on like a Friday. So fly in on Thursday night or so. And if we did a Saturday, Sunday, fly out on Monday. So it couldn't be like, we wouldn't fly in Friday night, work Saturday, Sunday, fly out Saturday night. I would fly in Thursday, I would fly out Monday, and it would be $5,000 plus the travel. And I would come out to Norway, I would bring another staff member with me, and we would put on a workshop for up to 50 people. And as a gym, you guys could charge people whatever you wanted. Any other questions? Mac, you want to go to Norway? Do you want to go to Norway? If we come to Norway, by the way, you don't have to pay for her to travel. I'll bring her with me. Right?
What's that?
That's Daddy's friends. All right, guys. This has been good. Yep. You got it. So, and my email, Pat, is drshawn@performancecarerx.com. That is the link in our bio for email as well. If you just click email, it comes right to me. And anybody who emails me knows 24 hours or less, you're getting a response. That is the truth. And you're not getting a BS response. You're getting actionable advice. Whether if I tell you to jump on one of our programs, it's because I think I'm servicing you. That's what I think you need. It's the best way I think I can help you. If I tell you to go hop on a heavy, slow resistance protocol, I don't make any money off of that, but I do it all the time. Right? If I tell you you just need more rest, I do that all the time. People who email me get responses in 24 hours or less, and they get actionable advice. Sometimes it's to buy something that we sell. Sometimes it's to do something that we don't sell. Either way, it's the advice that I think is best suited for them. Right? We built those things out so that I can more easily say, boom, go do this and save myself a ton of time. That's why. Mackenzie, Larry the active intern said you look great. Can you say thank you, Larry? Can you say thank you, Larry? Hey, say thank you.
Gigi.
There we go. All right. All right, guys. Good talk. See you out there.